Hello, my name is Anton Lesser, and I'm supporting the National Brain Appeals Emergency Fund for NHS staff at the National Hospital. And I'm going to read a much edited first chapter of Charles Dickens' Tale of Two Cities. Much edited so that it's not too long, but it will give you a taste of what I feel is his best ever book. It's the one I would take to a desert island. So, with apologies to Charles Dickens, this is a chapter called The Mail. It was the Dover Road that lay on a Friday night, late in November, before the first of the persons with whom this history has business. He walked uphill in the mire by the side of the Dover mail, as the rest of the passengers did, not because they had the least relish for walking exercise under the circumstances, but because the hill and the harness and the mud and the mail were all so heavy that the horses had 3 times already come to a stop. There was a steaming mist in all the hollows, and it had roamed in its forlornness up the hill like an evil spirit seeking rest and finding none. It was dense enough to shut out everything from the light of the coach lamps but these its own workings, and a few yards of road, and the reek of the labouring horses steamed into it as if they had made it all. In those days, travellers were very shy of being confidential on a short notice, for anybody on the road might be a robber, or in league with robbers. So the guard of the Dover Mail thought to himself that Friday night in November 1775, lumbering up Shooter's Hill. The guard suspected the passengers suspected one another and the guard, they all suspected everybody else, and the coachman was sure of nothing but the horses, as to which cattle he could with a clear conscience have taken his oath on the 2 testaments that they were not fit for the journey. "Shh, Joe!" cried the coachman in a warning voice, looking down from his box. "What do you say, Tom?" They both listened. "I say a horse at a canter coming up, Joe." "I say a horse at a gallop, Tom," returned the guard, leaving his hold of the door and mounting nimbly to his place. He cocked his blunderbuss and stood on the offensive. The sound of a horse at a gallop came fast and furiously up the hill. "You there, stand! I shall fire!" The pace was suddenly checked, and with much splashing and floundering, a man's voice called from the mist. "Is that the Dover Mail?" "Never you mind what it is," the guard retorted. "What are you?" "Is that the Dover Mail?" "Why do you want to know?" "I want a passenger if it is." "What passenger?" "Mr. Jarvis Lorry." "Keep where you are," the guard called to the voice in the mist. "Gentleman of the name of Lorry, answer straight." What is the matter?" Who wants me? Is it Jerry?" "Yes, Mr. Lorry. Dispatch sent after you from over yonder, T&Co." I know this messenger, guard," said Mr. Lorry. "He may come close. There's nothing wrong." "Come on at a foot pace. If you've got holsters to that saddle of yourn, don't let me see your hand go nigh 'em, for I'm a devil at a quick mistake. When I make one, it takes the form of lead. So now let's look at you." The figures of a horse and rider came slowly through the eddying mist and came to the side of the mail where the passengers stood. The rider stooped, and casting up his eyes at the guard, handed the passenger a small folded paper. "Guard," said the passenger in a tone of quiet business confidence. "Sir?" "There is nothing to apprehend. I belong to Tellson's Bank in London. I'm going to Paris on business. I may read this?" "If so be as you're quick, sir." He opened it in the light of the coach lamp and read, first to himself and then aloud, "Wait at Dover for Mamselle. Jerry, say that my answer was recalled to life." Jerry started in his saddle. "Take that message back, and they will know that I received this as well as if I wrote. Make the best of your way. Good night." With those words, the passenger opened the coach door and got in, not at all assisted by his fellow passengers, who had expeditiously secreted their watches and purses in their boots and were now making a general pretense of being asleep. The coach lumbered on again, with heavier wreaths of mist closing round it as it began the descent. "Tom." "Hello, Joe." "Did you hear the message?" "I did, Joe." "What did you make of it, Tom?" "Nothing at all, Joe." "That's a coincidence, too," the guard mused, "for I made the same of it myself." Jerry, left alone in the mist and darkness, dismounted meanwhile. "Recalled to life? That's a blazing strange message. Much of that wouldn't do for you, Jerry. Eh? Jerry? You'd be in a blazing bad way if recalling to life was to come into fashion." Hope that gives you a little taste of our rattling good story. Thank you for listening, and if you're able and you would like to make a donation to the National Brain Appeals Emergency Fund for NHS staff at the National Hospital, then that would be great. Thank you. Bye-bye.